So recently, I've been shooting a lot of these time-lapse videos on my phone, and I think there's something really interesting about the time-lapse, because it's kind of a paradoxical way of showing the world, because a time-lapse is a process by which you take an event that occurred over, many minutes, or in fact sometimes even hours, and you condense it down into this short little space. And I think there's something really interesting about that, because watching time lapses kind of gives you this false impression as to what it'll be like to make them. Generally, when you make them, you kind of believe that it'll be easy and, fun, but really it's a bit boring and it takes a lot of time. And it actually teaches a certain degree of patience, I think. This one was really interesting, this time lapse. I did it while reading, and I think it gave me a really interesting opportunity to actually catch up on some reading in a way that I wouldn't have otherwise. It allowed me to kind of distance myself from my technology while still using it, which I think is really fascinating. And a lot of these later ones here I did with people, or while in the presence of other people, which definitely makes the time a little bit more bearable, but it's still a waiting. And you're still always aware of your shot. And I think that's another thing that I found really interesting, is how when you shoot these, you never go into them trying to find something beautiful or make the shot move into something beautiful. More often than not, you start with something beautiful and you kind of see where it takes you. And I found this a lot with these sunsets, which I would always constantly be shooting because I thought that they were really beautiful. And sunsets are beautiful throughout their entire process of existence. And, you start off with this very beautiful scene. This very simple scene, in fact, and it's how you kind of compose it that's really important. And then as time goes on, you find that that scene changes, and it's how that changes that's really important. And so I think for this last one, we're just going to sit together and listen to it. Thank you.